Well, we're in the parish of Latherin in Caithness, and the ruins of yet another Caithness Hoosie. And I thought we would do a wee series of videos looking at some of these. This one is by Rumpster Forest. Of course, when the croft was lived in, the forest wasn't there. And there's quite a few ruins around here, in many ways a lost community. And this house, or cottage, was known as Balmogie. And it sits by the side of the road that runs up to Caithness from Leipster. Now the Book of Leipster tells me that it was the home of a William Sutherland in 1859. But looking at the old OS map, I don't think this particular cottage was there then. But there was another cottage further back just a wee bit, and there's really no remains of that now. So I suspect Mr. Sutherland lived in that earlier cottage. But the OS map of 1873 shows that cottage there, but the 1906 map shows this cottage here. So something happened in that 30 odd years. Perhaps the old house was dismantled and this newer one built. Now the Mackenzie family lived here, and one, John Mackenzie, was a teacher and supposedly a very intelligent man who could converse in half a dozen languages. No bad for a Leipster chiel. But sadly he was killed as a lieutenant in the First World War, and John Mackenzie's name appears on the War Memorial in Leipster. Now this wee hoosie's in a far ruinous state. Plenty of ferns and nettles and whatnot and dockings growing in about. But we can see the gable here standing, and the flagstone or the windstone behind the fireplace. And so I'm standing here on a late summer night, and I can tell you the midges are horrendous. Imagine a cheery fire going, maybe a bit of music, a crack and a dram, and now it's just silent grey stones. I'll take a walkie round to the gable. Now the earlier house would have stood just in the middle ground there. And there's the gable end of Balmogie. Now the old house of Mr. Sutherland, I suspect, was on this mound. Sorry, this is a bit boring. There's really nothing to see but a raised mound. Oh, there's one or two stones. Mr. Sutherland's house is not just totally gone. I think one of the OS maps shows this then partly ruinous, so maybe a bit of it was still being lived in, and then the later cottage was built. So that's the story, as far as I know anyway, of Balmogie. Would have been part of the Sweeney estate, and now just a roadside ruin. But we could maybe remember John Mackenzie, teacher, linguist, killed in the First World War.